Welcome to Life Mastery for Women, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode, where I hope that I'm finding you standing around with a full bucket. If you're not living your life with a full bucket, then please allow me to have the intention of today's episode to give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Now, picture everybody in the world, including you, carrying a bucket. That bucket has energy in it, and you get to fill your bucket with different types of energy that you then can go out into the world and share with others. And you can use that word energy however you want to. There are times where nobody in the world wants to be around me when my bucket is empty. Nobody, ever. You know, the 4-year-old that has the whinies and they're kind of acting a little bit bratty. Typically, somewhere along the line, their bucket is empty. And typically that just means that they need a little bit of self-care to fill their bucket. And it could be just eating a little snack or some lunch or taking a nap or doing something fun, right? We all have that same bucket. Little kids' bucket is a lot smaller than our bucket, because if we do have kids, we know that there's a lot of energy that we have to have in order to balance out our time with our kids and making dinner and cleaning the house and our jobs, managing our money, paying our bills. And oh yeah, don't forget to play with the kids and take care of them and feed them and bathe them and do their homework with them, right? So our buckets need to be bigger. So I hear a lot of people, especially women, especially moms, saying things like, I don't have time for self-care. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to make healthy meals for my family because I don't have time. Well, what you're really saying is you don't have the energy. Your bucket is empty. So I totally understand. I feel like in my perspective in running this business takes a lot out of me. It's a lot of time involved and a lot of time invested. But at the same time, I'm building my business because of my family. I'm building my business because I love my family and I want them to have amazing experiences in life. And in order for that to happen, I want to have this business to continue to grow. Okay. But I have to then spend time filling my own bucket. So then when I'm out in the world and I'm with my kids or I'm with Amy or I'm with whoever, my clients, that I have the energy to share with them. When I'm spending time with Cameron, when we're practicing baseball, when we're hanging out, I need to have the energy to be with him. When I'm spending quality time with Amy, I need to have the energy to spend time with her. So I want the same thing for you. So here's some of the things that I came up with. And one of the most important is managing your time. How many of you, I know you're on a podcast and I can't see you, but how many of you have a hard time managing your time where you just feel like all you're ever doing is spinning your wheels? You never get things done. You never get things accomplished so then you can spend time with other people. Does that happen to you? Do you feel like that is something where other people somehow have more time than you and you just can't find the time to get things done? Well, here's one of the things that I learned in managing my time that has been an absolute lifesaver. And it has allowed me to put things in this time management calendar that I'm about to share with you. Is a very, very simple tool that has allowed me to dump in all of the things that are important to me and then to follow the schedule. So if you are saying that you don't have enough time to fill your own bucket, this podcast is for you. Here's this time management tool that I find to be so incredibly amazing. You schedule some time that you can do like a brainstorming or a brain dump, and you dump all of the things that are coming up this week onto a piece of paper. Doesn't matter what the paper is, doesn't matter any of those things. You dump everything, all appointments, all your time with your kids, anytime you have to leave or come and go or anything that you have to do that is on your calendar for the week. Okay? Then you put in all of the things that you want to do on the calendar. I'm sorry, not on the calendar. This is on a piece of paper. So you're just going to dump it all out on a piece of paper. There's no schedule to it. You're not trying to put it in certain days yet. You're not doing anything. You're literally making a giant list of all of the things that you have to do in any given week, this week. Okay. And then what I do is I take, let's say there's 20 items on there, is now in right next to it somewhere, it doesn't matter, on the left or the right side, I write the day of the week or the initial next to it. So if we have Cameron's baseball, okay, that's on Tuesday, so I write a T next to it. Brandon's got a doctor's appointment I'm going to take him to on Wednesday, I'm going to write a W next to that on that line. Okay, then you do that with all of the things on this list. Also within the list, if there's a time on there, like I'm going to PT on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So it says PT with my PT person at 3 o'clock. And that gets written on the line. Okay. And then I write Tuesday, the T next to it. Then what I do is I get out my calendar. Now the calendar that I use is a very simple calendar that is one day at a time. So I don't look at a month, I look at a day. So I look at today's Monday. So I'm looking at this on Monday, and these are all the things that I have to do today. What this does for me is it eliminates the overwhelm. So when I go back to your list of things, and I now take those things and I put them into my calendar according to the time and the day that I want to do those things. Now, if you've listened to this a while, you know that I have a couple of dogs. You also know that I have 4 turtles and I have 2 boys. Okay, I have 3 boys, but 2 of them are at home. So when I have a Monday and I'm like, okay, I want to mow the backyard, or I want to walk the dogs, or I need to clean the turtle pond, I get to put those things in anywhere on my calendar that seem fit, a great place for it. Now, if they don't get done, if that Tuesday rolls around and I'm supposed to clean the turtle pond and something happened where Cameron's at home with me now and he's not feeling well and I can't really dedicate the 2 or 3 hours to clean the pond, I can't do it then. I take it out of my calendar and I reschedule it for a different day. So it's not in stone. It allows me this flexibility, but it puts me in control of my time. It allows me to put things in the place that I want them to be. I think it's the most magnificent thing. I'm like constantly saying, I don't have enough time and I'm so overwhelmed. Well, if I'm looking at too much at once, I completely become overwhelmed. If I'm looking at too many things at once, I'm looking at a whole week or I'm looking at a whole month, of course you're going to be overwhelmed. Okay. The brain can only take in little bits at a time as it's digesting. Of course, your brain takes in a lot and it sifts through what's important and what's not. Otherwise, we would go crazy. But when you're looking at active moving pieces, it can be really overwhelming to the brain to see those things. So now when like today's Monday, so I look back on today and I go, okay, so I want to record some podcasts and it's at 3 o'clock. So now when my schedule comes up, I look at Monday. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm going to walk the dogs at 8 a.m. I'm going to drop Cameron off at work at 9 a.m. I'm going to meet Brandon's respite worker at 10 a.m. I'm going to walk the dogs at 11, whatever the calendar is. And then I get to have this flexibility. And it really, really eliminates the overwhelm. I now can just relax into my schedule. Does that make sense? So hopefully this is something that you will see as a benefit and you will start to use this in your life, because I can't tell you, me and Amy both use this, and every Sunday we get together with our pads of paper and our clipboards, we turn off our phones, we don't have the TV on, we don't have any, it's just the 2 of us, and we literally dump all of these things on this blank sheet of paper. And then we schedule them into our calendar. We can schedule date night. We can schedule walking the dogs. We can schedule going to the beach. We can, whatever you want. But the end result is, the end result is less overwhelm, getting more things done. And I can see my schedule where I'm screwing around with things. If you want to add in a bubble bath, going to the spa, get your nails done, your hair cut, walking, going for a walk, or doing something fun by yourself or reading a book, you can do that. You get to pick your schedule. So not only is this empowering, but it creates this relaxed schedule and helps you get a lot of things done. So also, when you're creating your brain dump, is maybe leaving a space to create things that you like to do that fill your bucket. The only reason you do it is because it fills your bucket. Now, a lot of people say, well, what about watching TV? Well, to me, TV is a mindless tool unless it's something that inspires you. If it's something that inspires you, then for me, it fills my bucket. If it's just this mindless activity, it's not really filling your bucket. It kind of leaves you in neutral. Do you notice that if you're impatient and you're not feeling very good, like emotionally, and then you watch a movie or something, or you watch a couple episodes of something, when you come back into reality, you're not feeling any better? I don't know about you, but that's how I am. So when that happens, it is not about watching TV. For me, it's about learning something. I mean, that is my go-to. What about gardening? What about walking your dogs or brushing your dogs or your cat if you have a cat? What about just going for a walk? What about driving to a really nice location and just spending a little bit of time? Someone says, does self-care always have to be by themselves? Not necessarily. I get a lot of my bucket filled, my quality time bucket filled when I spend quality time with Amy. And sometimes we're just going for a walk and nobody's with us and it's just the two of us. We don't have dogs because sometimes your dogs can be distracting. That it's just the two of us going for a walk or going for a drive, going for a swim, anything like that. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, if I do this activity, is it going to make me feel better? Is it going to make me feel more inspired? Is it going to make my bucket seem fuller? Because when my bucket is filled, I feel better, I'm calmer, I'm more patient, and I have more to give to others. If my bucket is empty, what can I give to other people? If I don't have any energy in there and I'm not taking care of myself, what am I giving to other people? Nothing. And at the bottom of my bucket, if it's empty, there's resentment, bitterness, anger, frustration. That's what's at the bottom of my bucket. I want to keep it filled, right? When I fill my bucket, I have patience, calm, peace, love, joy, fun, energy. And when I have energy, I can be really fun to be around. It's when I don't have energy. So is it time for you to empower yourself and take control? Take the handlebars of your bike or the steering wheel of your car and start to fill your calendar with those things that you love to do and the things that you have to do, but managing your time and managing your self-care tasks. There are certain things that I really, really enjoy doing. And when I don't do those things because other tasks get in the way, I start to resent the people in my life. But I'm building a life for the people that I'm with. And I want you to do the same thing. When we are neglecting our own bucket, we tend to blame the other people in our lives. And it's unfair, isn't it? It's unfair when we do that. But at the same time, this is what gets things done. So I hope that you will take advantage of this time management tool. And I hope that you will make your list of self-care and self-love activities and start to make slow shifts and see how this sits with you. And if you need support with this, check out our group at Lady Rising. Go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising, join our group. In the membership questions, say you're coming in through the podcast, because I always like to know where my people are coming from. And you can join our call. We talk about self-care all the time. This is a group for women, and women is like, it's so, because we have that nurturing part about us, it is so common for us to put ourselves last on the list. Well, if there's time, I'll work out. If there's time, if there's money that's left over, then I'll buy healthy foods. If there's time, then I'll cook healthy dinners. It's like the time is now. You manage it, you become empowered, and I hope that you find that this has served you and that you will start to use these tools and you will start to see the shifts and the empowerment happen in your own life. And I hope of one more thing, that you share your successes with our group. If you liked this episode and you look forward to future episodes and are really looking for a community to help support you with implementing the tools that we're talking about in this podcast, please consider joining our online sister community called Lady Rising on Facebook, where we focus on that spiritual support and connection, just like in today's episode. I hope you'll join us. go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising, and tell me you came in through the podcast.